guys, welcome back. Today's episode is going to be a knit and chat, so grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your fiber arts craft, and let's get started. I'm going to try to do a knit and chat. I tried to do that on the last episode, and I just could not knit and talk. So I ended up just like talking the whole time, and then when I started to knit, my battery died. So we'll see how this goes. I am wearing the Poisoned Apple top by Lily Kate France. I use the Fuzzy Peach Fibers Midsummer colorway, and then this part here is the Oh Dang by my Farmer's Daughters yarn. So I talked about this already, so I'm not gonna talk about it again. I'm working on the Waffle Loop top by Other Loops, and this is what I've got so far. I'm working on the sleeve, so hopefully this will be a mindless, somewhat of a mindless knit while I'm talking, because I sometimes have a hard time knitting and talking. So I've already done the decreases, and it's kind of strange, but the decreases are done at the top for this pattern instead of the bottom. I don't know why. I'm not sure if I like that or not, so we'll see. But yeah. Oh, and then the yarn that I'm using is Pumpkin Spice by Fuzzy Peach Fibers as well. I kind of wanted to talk about something that has been on my mind for like maybe a week now. I went road tripping to go see my family around Easter time, and on this drive back I had already seen this sweater, and I just thought about the sweater the entire drive back home. Like, I am so obsessed with the sweater. So I listen to knitting podcasts like all the time. I'm always trying to find something to listen to, and one day I'm like scrolling, and Pages and Pearls is what shows up on my feed. And I clicked on it because the cover of the thumbnail was the Norma sweater, and I'll put a picture here in case you don't know, but I'm sure you've seen it. The Norma sweater is a sweater that has a brownish, beigeish base color, and then she has the red-orange stripe and then like a blue stripe, kind of. It's not exactly a stripe, but you get the idea. So I have had that sweater like in my mind, and I have wondered like what colors can I pick, because I am not a beige neutral color person. And so I wanted to make the sweater, but I still wanted that red-orange pop color, because that color to me is like it pops really well in the sweater, and when I think of the Norma sweater, that is what I think of. So I wanted it to still kind of look like the Norma sweater, but still different, obviously. So I have had it in my mind, but I just have not had any idea of what other colors to do. And I didn't want to copy it because I'm not a beige brown kind of person. And I just didn't think, it just wasn't something that I would want in a sweater. Like, if I saw it in a store, I would have liked the sweater, but I probably would not have bought it because of the brownish beige color. Like, since it's mostly that color all throughout, I just probably would not have bought the sweater and just would have wanted it to be like in a different color. So when I saw Hannah's sweater from Pages and Pearls, I was like, oh my gosh, she did such a good job of the color combination, because it still screams like the Norma sweater with the red-orange color, but the base color that she picked was a light blue color. And I would have never thought to combine those two colors together. Like, I would have never thought of doing that. And I was just very like impressed, because I just really liked the color combination, and just thought, isn't it amazing how different people look at a sweater and look at a pattern design and make it their own without taking away the concept of the pattern, which it's totally fine to, you know, pick whatever colors you want. Like I've seen different people on Ravelry, like majority of them, I think, do the main colors like a brown and then red, orange, and then a blue. Some do a different color, but when you do a different color, it doesn't say to me Norma sweater, because when I think of the Norma sweater, I think of that pop of red, orange. And obviously you don't have to do it that way. That's not what it's supposed to be. But I think with that sweater, for some reason, I just would have wanted to keep, or would want to keep, the pop of red, orange color. And the way that Hannah did it, I think still has like the Norma sweater concept, but still has like a lighter version, like a more, just like a nicer color to it rather than like the beige color that the designer had picked. And I just was really like in awe of the fact that people are so creative and so like unique and different. And even if she, I don't know if she had like I don't remember if she had bought the yarn specifically or if it was already in her stash, but either way, like if you had bought the yarn, it's nice that you came up with those colors, right? Like it's like, wow, I would have never thought to do that, and that's amazing. And that is something that I should probably work on, because I really do like color, but sometimes I get stuck where I don't know what colors go well together, or I don't know like what exactly, how to combine it and in which order to combine the colors, let's say. So that is something that I would like to work on, and maybe maybe not my next project, but the next couple projects, I can maybe, you know, try to think of what colors I can pick for the Norma sweater that would still give it the pop of red orange, but a little bit different. And then if she had used yarn from her stash, then it's like, how creative and resourceful to look at what you own and say, you know what, I think I can combine these colors together. Whereas if I hadn't had that yarn in my stash, I maybe would not have come up with that concept. So I just think it's really nice and unique and just creative. And I just think how amazing it is that people can find different ways to create a design, which is kind of like the whole point, right? Like a designer designs a sweater or designs a pattern, and then you as the project maker either decide to copy the same colors, which is fine, or decide, you know what, I'm going to do it in a different color combination, and it still has, obviously it still has the design of the pattern, because that's what you're doing, you're following the pattern, but you make it your own by having the different colors and the way that you combine them, and just, I don't know, even just picking like this sweater, right, is one solid color, but the designer has the sweater in like a grayish color on the cover page. And so even that is just me choosing just one solid color is still like different and unique, because maybe somebody else would not have thought, oh, let me do this sweater in like an orange color, you know? So it's just so nice to see how people come up with their own way of doing things. And that's just like the whole purpose and the fun of it, you know, how to see that you can like literally see like evidence of how people are so creative and resourceful and unique in their own way in each of the projects that they make. I just really wanted to talk about that because I really loved the sweater. Like I think about the sweater all the time because I'm like, I would have never thought to have thought of doing a light blue for the base and then still have that reddish orange color. I would not have that. I don't think that idea would have ever popped in my head. And I'm like, why not? And that's something that I want to like really work on, is figure out, you know, what I would like to make a project that I would not have normally thought of doing these color combinations, but because I'm trying to be more creative, I came up with this, you know? So that's something that I would like to try, which kind of led me to like the next conversation. So after thinking about the Norma sweater that Hannah had made, I started thinking about the yarn that I've had in my stash from Paisley Knits that I have had no idea what to do with. It's the Hi Barbie colorway in that pink and orange color. And I've had it in my stash. Like, I bought it without any sort of idea of what to do with it, which normally every yarn that I buy, I usually have a plan for. But that specific yarn, I was like, I don't know what to do with it, but I know that I need it in my life. So it's actually, oh yeah, you can see it here. So this is the cake. This is Surrey DK, which is also the first time that I'm using this yarn. And isn't this just the most beautiful cake you've ever seen? Like, I'm obsessed. Because I thought of the Norma sweater and thought like, oh, I should, come up with something like super creative with this. I thought of doing the Sharpay sweater that I've had also in my Ravelry for a really long time because I'm really obsessed with it. And I've had like no idea what color to do because the color that the designer picked was like a pastel beigeish green color, and the patterns that I've seen other people make, they've done like a navy blue, which is really, really nice, like a maroon color. And I went through like the list of what colors I could, I would want to make it in. And I didn't want to make it in a red. I didn't want to make it in an orange. I didn't want to make it in a yellow or a green or a blue. I didn't want to do purple. And so like I went through all the colors in the rainbow and I was like, I don't really want to do any of those colors. So I thought, after thinking of like the Norma sweater, I thought, well, what if I combined a white with this colorway? And so then it has like a little hints of pink and orange throughout, but then there's like that base of the white yarn. So I did a swatch and I did not like how it came out. I did not like holding the yarn together. I tried it with the white and I tried it with the black, and I just did not like how it looked together at all. So I then thought, well, I think because this is Surrey DK, it's a lot thicker than what I'm used to of just like a simple Surrey lace or a mohair. So I think I've come to the conclusion that I don't need to hold it with anything, and I can just make a sweater with just this yarn. And I don't think I have enough yarn for the Sharpay sweater to do that, because the Sharpay sweater, I watched a video on how the construction is, and it's, to me, it's a little bit complicated. I think I'm gonna have an annoying time making a sweater because it's worked bottom up, which I hate. And it's a lot of work because you're like knitting like a couple of rows and then you're connecting the one of the rows to the other row to make that little like bump. And so it's going to take up a lot of yarn. So that sweater is going to still be on hold. But I think I've come to the conclusion that I'm just going to hold this by itself and knit a sweater, and it'll just be, the sweater will just have this all throughout. And then I was thinking of having like the collar and the cuffs and the hem in like the same shade of orange, but without this mohair, like without this Surrey lace, like a just regular DK yarn. So that's what I've come up with, which you're probably like, well, that's not creative because it's just the yarn. But I don't think I would have ended to this conclusion without thinking about the fact that I really liked Hannah's normal sweater. And so that is kind of like the whole point, right? It was like you get inspired by other people's creations, and even if the way that you get to your conclusion doesn't make any sense, the only way you would have thought of that is by thinking about all the other things that you were inspired by. So that's that. I genuinely just really wanted to talk about that because I really like the sweater and I really love the color combination that she came up with. And I did think about doing the Norma sweater in like a navy blue and then like a hot pink and then maybe like a green. But I don't think that that will have the same effect that the pop of red orange color does with the Norma sweater. Like, genuinely think when I think of the Norma sweater, I think of that really hot, like red orange pop of color. And I would want to make the Norma sweater with that color. So doing it in like the navy blue and then like a hot pink or a green doesn't give the same effect that I would want, even though those colors probably work really well together. So yeah, really excited to have this sweater be done because I want to move on from this sweater and I want to just like be able to see like how the finished look is going to look like, because this is going to be my first baggy oversized sweater that I've made, because everything else that I've made has been I would say pretty fitted or just for like my size, and nothing's really oversized, I would say, except for the Arctic Light sweater, which is just oversized in all the wrong places. So yeah, tea break. So I have had the Stripe Hype sweater by Kudo Kika, or by Veronica Lindbergh, and I've had this Stripe Hype sweater on my mind since whatever time I recorded my last video where I talked about the Stripe Hype sweater, and I have been looking for the navy blue color that I want to use for the sweater, and I have not been able to find the yarn that I want. So I decided I was gonna try to look in my local yarn shop again, and I went to the store to look for that, and I did not find what I was looking for, but I did find the blue that I want to use for my Anna Wintour sweater, I believe. Hold on here. Technical difficulties. So I did find that sweater, that yarn. So I will show you that yarn, but I ended up buying more things, and I really had no business stepping foot into this yarn store. But in my defense, Your Honor, I have no defense. I have no defense. There was no reason for me to do this because I have enough yarn and enough projects that I'm supposed to be working on. So I really did want to start the Stripe Hype sweater first, but that's not what ended up happening because I found the yarn for a different sweater. So let me show you that yarn and all the little goodies that I purchased that I should not have purchased, but I did anyways. And yeah, so I'll be right back. This is the yarn that I purchased. This is Blue Sky Fibers in the color October Sky. This is 100% fine Highland wool, 50 grams for 123 yards, 112 meters. And it's made in Peru. And it's wool stock worsted. So this is the yarn. And I really love the shade of blue that it is. And I plan on combining it with, this is already yarn that I already had. This is the Mount Fuji by Paisley Knits. And I just think it's a good combo. So that sweater has like blue at the top, and then the rest of the sweater is going to be this colorway. And then there's like blue stripes, but the stripes are actually crocheted into the sweater, so it's not like a knitted stripe. So that's going to be an interesting construction that I've not done before. So the other thing that I purchased at the store that I should not necessarily needed, I mean, I did need, but it's not like a necessity. But so most of the things that I have with in terms of knitting has been passed down through my mom. So my mom has given me majority of my needles, majority of like these like little things that you need for knitting that are just like small little things that has been passed down to me over the years. And so this is the one little bag that I've had to put stuff in. And my mom gave me the scissors, and so I have like little stitch markers in here and needle stoppers, needle stitch stoppers like this. So at the store, I decided I was gonna buy my own stuff because I'm like running out of space. I've already taken out some of the stuff that was in here. Like this was full of stuff. So I got a little project bag, and it came with 3 project bags. So one here, and then another one. So 3 little project bags, like different colors. So, and so in here I have like all of the scrap yarn in this little bag that was inside of this green little bag. So that's at least organized. And then in here, I put all of the little stitch markers that I purchased. So I got this cute little Pac-Man themed stitch markers. These are these cute little sheep. Like how cute. More stitch markers that say different little things on the wooden circles. It says like crushing it, I can and I will, make every day count, goal getter, and then there's another one I think, live, love, craft. So I thought those were cute. I also got a bunch of little mushrooms. So it came on this little tag here. And I don't know what happened, but they all like unhooked from the little stitch holder that it was attached to. So I can show you what they look like, but they came in 2 different colors. So yeah, they're so cute, little mushrooms. And then I got these cute little llamas and Highland cows. Here. So there's 2 of each. Let's see. How cute! My camera stopped. I have one more. These are stitch markers that are heart-shaped. And I thought those were cute. So these are all of my little notions, my little things that I had no business purchasing but wanted to anyways. I also got, oh, I got more stitch markers actually. So I got these, and these come in such fun colors. So it's in a box, so that way they stay organized. And then they come in different shapes. So there's triangles, a small circle, an original circle, and then like a jumbo size circle. And then there's like a split for marking the stitches. And they come inside this like organized and by different sizes, but they all come in like different colors. And the colors are just a fun color. See? They're so cute. So those were all of my things that I got at the yarn shop. Those are all my little goodies. And I hope that you enjoyed this short little video of me just ranting about how I'm inspired by other people and their color choices. And I hope that you had a good time knitting or crocheting or spinning or just sitting and drinking coffee and tea. So hope you guys have a great day. Bye! See you guys on the next one.